Well, actually, kind of as we were chatting away, how are you? How's the team? How's everyone feeling now you've had a couple of matches under your belt and you're back?
Yeah, all good. Great to be back. Obviously, the way the end of season happened, that's gone. Can't dwell on it. And we had a really short pre-season, good one. Great to get back together. And obviously the season started very early. Still trying to get up to speed with where you'd normally be after 6 weeks of pre-season that you normally get. But we went to Barnsley, obviously disappointing result and disappointing performance. But then the QPR one was a disappointing result. But as in performances and chances created, we can take a lot out of that game. We all know the most important thing is getting points on the board. But when you do lose a game, you try and take positives, and that's what we've looked at this week. And there was plenty from the QPR game. You can talk about the Barnsley game. It wasn't great, but look, we created chances last week, probably more chances than we created in many games last year, where we might have won that, and we certainly didn't deserve to lose it. So, look, we're back on the training pitch, and we look forward to Cardiff at the weekend.
Because I suppose that was remains the risk actually for you, isn't it? That with a short pre-season, that what happened last season kind of spills over into this one. And that's kind of what we've got to stop happening. Yeah,
you want to get the points on the board. First game of the season last week, we wanted to win that game and try and put last season to bed. We have to try and forget about that. That's gone. That's history. And look forward. That's what we've got to do. And soon you get that first win. You want your first home win, your first away win, and then you're up and running. So the sooner it comes, the better. And we'll be looking to do that at home on Saturday.
With the way the transfer window has been extended, there's obviously still stuff swirling around the team. Do you look around the team and feel like you've got a complete side, or do you feel like maybe you could use a little bit?
Well, I think you can always. That's down to the manager to look where he believes he wants improvements. And as a football club, you're always looking. You see the options from outside. You see players available, and if you believe it's going to improve you, you've got to look at try and take in those opportunities to improve. We always want to get better. You're always trying to make the squad better, and it gives you better opportunities to go where we want to go. So, like you say, it's extended. And I'm sure the club are looking to do whatever they can to put us in the best shape for a long season. It's going to be obviously condensed into games that are going to come thick and fast, like they did, I suppose, after lockdown.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. It's relentless, isn't it? I mean, I know we often talk about patches of the season that are relentless. You look at the fixture list though this season. It's crazy from first to last.
Yeah, I mean, look how it's gone. Obviously, we played Barnsley and QPR. We've had week to week to prepare, and then after the international, I think it's after Bristol, it just goes absolute chaos. And look, it's the same for it's going to be every league. It's how it is to get to May. You've got to get the games in, so you've got to have a squad that you're going to have to deal with injuries that you're going to pick up. Of course you are. It's part and parcel of football, and with more games, less time to recover, that's going to happen. So everyone's going to be involved, and everyone has to be ready.
Do you think the style of football's changed at all with the empty stadiums? I've had a couple of conversations with people going, it looks more technical to me. It looks.
Well, it's football's not the same without fans. That's definitely one thing for sure. And from a player's point of view, having fans in the atmosphere, the adrenaline you can feel, the anxiety of bringing the nerves of expectations, that's completely different. It's very much like, I suppose, pre-season games where you go and you have a little bit more time on the ball, and it is like that. Games can become stretched. Look, it's hard times for everyone, not just in sport, and obviously from a player, the sooner fans get back in the stadium, the better. But we've got to realise safety is the most important thing.
Is there a beneficial spin-off at all? Because I've been very conscious in stadiums sometimes. I watch players try something and it doesn't quite come off, and it's really creative. And you hear the crowd go, oh. And I think if I was that player, I'd think, I'm not trying that again.
Yeah.
Whereas you don't have that now.
No, I can see.
Next time you might try that pass again, just see if you can make it work.
I can see where you're coming from in that point. But I think from experience and expectation that I put on myself individually and collectively, you still go out there and when you cross that white line, you've still got the same job to do, and that's try and win a football match. So you always say the best players in the world make the more right decisions when going through to the shoot, to the pass, those kind of decisions. But you're right about in the moaning and groaning that you do get from stands that comes from every supporter that's going to be when someone doesn't make the right decision, because at the end of the day you want to be a winner.
Can I just go back to this thing about making sure that last season doesn't spill over into this? Are you clear as a unit what it is, where it is you need to be better as a unit, and what needs to improve as a unit?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, last season didn't happen from the last 20 minutes, and there'd been periods where you look and we had to be better. We had 9 games and we had enough games to get the points that we needed to get to where we wanted to be, and we didn't achieve that. So as individually, you have to take responsibility, and as a group, everyone. So we've done that. We've spoke about it, but you can't use that as an excuse. It's gone now. Put it to bed, and you've got to now try and look forward and try and, like I said, get that home win and away win as soon as possible.
Because expectations inevitably higher this
It's
season.
never changed since I left all those years ago. Nottingham Forest, the size of the football club, it's been talked about for many years, 20 odd years since we've been in the Premier League. It's where we want to be. You look at Leeds, how they've done it. They missed out last year and they started the season well, and they get there 12 months later in promotion, and rightly so, because they were the best team and they had a way of where they got to where they wanted to be, and that's what we've got to try and achieve as a group collectively, because you can't do anything individually.
I just want to finish by asking about Lewis, because I think if you were going to give 3-4 decent chances to any player, it would have been him, based on last season. How as a group of players do you respond when that happens? Is everyone sort of around him?
Yeah, I mean, look, Grabs is an experienced player. You look at his record. I think he's a leading championship goal scorer in probably the last 5 or 10 years or something like that, because he scores goals. And he scored important goals last year and he'll score important goals this year. It's just how he is. So he doesn't need someone to put his arm around. He's an experienced striker that's been there. He knows he should have scored the goals. He'd be the first to say that. So it's not something where you criticise. It happens. He puts himself in, and he'll be putting himself in them positions week in, week out, and he'll score more goals than he misses. That's for sure, because he's done it. He's done it all the time.
I was always wondering the reverse. If rather than not, I wasn't expecting players to be on his back. I was always wondering whether it was a case that people really kind of.
Grabs doesn't need that. I think you look at a goal scorer, they've got that mentality. At any football club, not just Grabs. I look at any goal scorer I've played with. That's the way they are. They have a self-belief, and Grabs is no different. To get to what the goal records that he scored, you have to be, because you've got to be. He's missed chances through his career, and he'll do it for the rest of his career. But he'll also score goals that his record speaks for itself.
Just finally, you're here with a smile on your face. You look really happy to be back. Sun shining. Everything apart from that last result is right with the world. Is that through the whole squad? Does it feel a buoyant optimism? Yeah,
of course. Look, when you lose a game straight after, and over the weekend and Monday you come in, you're a little bit down, but you've got to try and brush yourself down, because there's 45 games left in the season. We wanted to get off to a good start. It hasn't happened. So what do? Lie down and mope and feel sorry for yourself? That's one thing you can't do in this league, because they come thick and fast, and when you win, whenever I've sat here before, you can't get too high, and when you lose you can't get too low, because from one day to the next there's ups and downs, and look, we'll go to Cardiff. It's going to be a tough game. They lost last week like ourselves, so they'll be saying the same things, try and get the points on the board and get to where you want to be at the end of the season. But you've got to keep calm and keep going in the same way that we believe we're in, and keep being positive.